Hey guys, Miss Naylor here. We're doing page 32 of your Roots book today. Go ahead and make sure you have your pen or pencil and your highlighter. We're going to start at the very beginning with our root seed, seed. So two different spellings, same root, and it means to go, yield, or give away. Highlight that and underline its meaning. Our first word is antecede. It means to come, go, or exist before in time, rank, or position. And it does have the roots ante meaning before and seed meaning to go in it. So let's take a look at what this might look like. So I'm sure none of you are familiar with Facebook or a timeline in Facebook. Hopefully, right? Of course. So our word antecede means to go, come, go, or exist before in time, order, rank, or position. And the example sentence says, the American Revolution antecedes the French Revolution, which is true. The American Revolution happened first. But something you might be a little bit more familiar with would be something like this. Now this is the page on Facebook that tells us about the new format they created, right? So if you look here, it shows things that precede other things. So here we have September. These were places that this fictional person went. This antecedes what happened, let's see, August 29th. When this fictional person, Matt Brown, last weekend went to the San Francisco MoMA, right? Okay, so this is an example of something anteceding, preceding, coming before. And that's important. There's a note there underneath. Antecede and precede have the same meaning. So both of those words mean that it came before, okay? All right, now that's different than the next word, which is antecedent. Antecedent is one that goes before another, so it's the actual thing. Not the verb form, but now the noun form of the word. So that can be your ancestors, one's ancestors. It can also be a word, phrase, or clause that a pronoun refers to, and that's what we're going to look at, okay? It has those same roots in it, ante meaning before and seed meaning to go, excuse me. So make sure you've highlighted and underlined here the word antecedent, the three different meanings that are all related, and then our roots. She followed in her antecedent's footsteps and became a lawyer. So that sentence has the meaning of one's ancestors, right? We're going to look at the third meaning, the word, phrase, or clause the pronoun refers to. Now, if you don't have me for English, you might not be familiar with my favorite English website, which is chompchomp.com. But this is it, and we're going to look really quickly at antecedents. So we have the sentence, Adeline bit her lip. So Adeline is the antecedent because it's what the personal pronoun refers to. Our carnivorous friends will not attend the picnic because they despise tofu hot dogs and black bean burgers. Totally understood, right? If I didn't like tofu dogs and black bean burgers, I wouldn't go to a vegetarian cookout either. Here, they is referring back to friends. So since friends is what it refers back to, that's the antecedent. Okay? All right. Once we finish it, let's see. Exceed is our next word. Comes from the roots ex meaning out and seed meaning go. So go ahead and highlight that word, underline its meaning. It means to extend beyond or outside of. And let's take a look at an example. So here we see the overflow of a dam. This is a little bit better, clearer shot. So you have up here, this is where the lake or whatever's being blocked off is. This itself is the dam, and this is the overflow, right? So this is where the water has exceeded the volume of the lake or pond or river or whatever, right, that's being dammed up. So that's what makes it overflow. It exceeds the boundaries of, okay? Our next word is intercede. Go ahead and highlight that and underline its meaning. To plead on another's behalf. This makes sense because it means, inter means between, so seed meaning go, go between, right? To get in between. The father interceded on his son's behalf. Very helpful. Good job, Dad. Our next word is precede. Again, it's very much like antecede, so keep that in mind. To come, go, or exist before in time, order, rank, or position. Oh look, that's the exact same definition. The singing of the national anthem always precedes the start of the sports event. Very nice. And again, here pre means before, so go before. That makes sense. Just like ante means before, so also go before. Precedent is our next word. A precedent, and note that this is a noun, okay, is an occurrence that is used as an example in dealing with similar instances at a later time. Go ahead and underline that. Comes from those same roots, pre meaning before and seed meaning go, so something that comes before, or goes before, excuse me. The Supreme Court ruling set a precedent for fair hiring practices. And that's the place where we most hear this word. So, for instance, if I write someone up for playing games in class, then I've set a precedent. If anyone plays a game in class, they're automatically going to be written up, right? And it can be a positive or a negative, but we tend to hear it more in the light of something like a rule or a law or a judgment. That whatever decision was made previously is what we would see happening now. Proceed is our next word, from the roots pro meaning before and cede meaning go. It's a verb and it means to continue. Deandra will proceed with her education despite losing her financial aid. So she'll keep going, right? She'll continue with that. Recede is our next word. It means to move back or away from, because the root re means back and cede means go. So go back. Let's take a look at what this looks like. So here you see the water receding. It's going away. This is the tide going out. So it's receding. It's going away from the shore. All right, our next word is retrocede. Retrocede means to give back or return, because retro means back or behind, and cede means go, so to go back or go behind. Go ahead and highlight and underline there. Make sure you've noted those roots. After World War II ended, Germany had to retrocede the territory it had taken during the war. So early on, Germany took over a lot of countries. They took possession of those, and at the end of the war, they had to retrocede them and had to give them back or return them. Okay? Secede is our next word. It means to withdraw formally from membership in an organization, association, political party, or alliance. And it's because the SE means apart and cede means go, so go apart. I'm actually going to read you a little bit from a book by John Steinbeck. It's from a book called Travels with Charlie. There's a whole chapter called Texas Ostentation. The book is about how John Steinbeck traveled all over the country with his wonderful dog, Charlie. And he loves the state of Texas largely because his wife is from here, I believe. And the section I'm going to talk about is about seceding. So I am reading this excerpt from a book called Texas Stories. This is just the one chapter of Steinbeck's book, and it says, Texas is the only state that came into the Union by treaty. It retains the right to secede at will. We have heard them threaten to secede so often that I formed an enthusiastic organization, the American Friends for Texas Secession. This stops the subject cold. They want to be able to secede, but they don't want anyone to want them to. So that talks about how the state of Texas is the only state in the Union that can just up and leave if we want to. Theoretically, I don't know that it would actually work out that way, but in theory. And that sometimes we say we're just going to secede because we get mad about stuff. And if people say, yeah, why don't you do that? We kind of go, well, we were just kidding. JK, right? Okay. So our next word is succeed. It comes from the roots sub, meaning next or after, and cede, go, so go after. Something that succeeds comes in time or order, comes after in time or order. There's another definition as well, to have a favorable result. So these two definitions are very different. I want you to highlight and underline here both definitions, but listen to the difference. So the first meaning, to come after in time or order. King George VI succeeded to the throne after his brother Edward VIII abdicated. So that means that Edward was king, Edward left being king, and George decided George was the next king, so he succeeded Edward, okay? The favorable result meaning is what we generally talk about because we don't have a king or a queen. We don't really think about that too much here. So Elaine will succeed in running the marathon because she practices regularly. So she'll have a favorable result. She'll do well. Last but not least, you are responsible for exercises 1 and 2 this week, so please make sure you complete both of those. You're also responsible for your KIA. That will be due on Thursday. That's when your roots quiz will be, Thursday. So go study hard. Make sure you study all those old roots. If you have questions, you know where to find us.